Brothers and sisters, welcome back to Kelly Afrosphere. Today we need to talk about something that has been exploding all over TikTok, Twitter, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, and that is the so-called cultural war between Black Americans and Africans. And I'm calling it a cultural war because that's exactly what it looks like online. Non-stop arguments, disrespect, stereotypes, and people talking like we are enemies instead of family. Before we continue, kindly take a minute to subscribe to the channel right now and turn on your notifications, because on this platform we talk about real issues affecting Africans, Black Americans, Caribbeans, and the entire diaspora. And before we even get into today's topic, I need you to support the channel in a very simple way. Like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and most importantly, share this video with a friend, a group chat, or anyone who needs to hear this conversation. Every like, every comment, every share helps this channel grow and pushes us closer to reaching the monetization standards so we can keep producing even more consistent and powerful content. Now, let me say this clearly. This conversation is important, but the way people are handling it online is toxic, because instead of educating each other, too many people are trying to win an argument. And once you start trying to win, you stop trying to understand. So let's break this down properly in a calm and educational way, because a lot of people are speaking from emotion, but not from history. First of all, brothers and sisters, we have to understand that Black Americans and Africans have different historical experiences, and those experiences shape everything: identity, culture, mindset, and even how people respond to pain. Black Americans were shaped through slavery in the United States. The transatlantic slave trade didn't just enslave people, it also stripped people of their ethnic identities. Many Black Americans today cannot trace their lineage directly to one specific African country. Their ancestors were forced into a system that tried to erase their names, languages, tribes, religions, and even their family structure. Out of that suffering, Black Americans built a new identity and a powerful culture that became one of the most influential cultures on Earth. That's why Black American culture is so dominant globally. Hip-hop, jazz, blues, R&B, soul, gospel, fashion, slang, activism, and even comedy culture. So much of what the world calls modern culture was shaped by Black Americans. That is not even a debate. That is history. Now, Africans had a different experience. Africa was colonized, exploited, and divided. But, many Africans still kept something Black Americans were denied: direct cultural continuity. A Kenyan knows their community. A Nigerian knows their tribe. A Ghanaian knows their language. Even though colonialism caused serious damage, Africans still held on to ethnic identity, food, customs, and connection to land. And this is where, honestly, many misunderstandings begin, because you'll see Africans online saying things like, Black Americans have no culture, or calling them lost, or saying they are too emotional, lazy, or always complaining. Brothers and sisters, that is ignorance. Black Americans do have culture. It's just a culture built from survival. It was created under oppression, yet it still produced the strongest civil rights movements and the biggest cultural exports in modern history. But on the other side, you also see Black Americans online saying things like, Africans sold us, or Africans are backwards, or Africa is poor, or treating Africans like they don't matter. And that is also ignorance. Africa is not one country, and Africans alive today are not the same people who existed centuries ago. Many Africans were victims too. Victims of European colonialism, neo-colonial exploitation, and global systems that kept the continent underdeveloped. So what we're seeing online is two groups of people arguing, but honestly, many are arguing from stereotypes, not education. Now let's talk about one of the biggest issues: identity. Black Americans have an identity rooted in America. They are black, but they are also American. Their culture developed in the United States over hundreds of years. Africans, on the other hand, often have identity rooted in nationhood or tribe. Many Africans grow up thinking, I'm not black, I'm Kenyan, or I'm Ghanaian, or I'm Yoruba. But the moment many Africans enter Europe or America, society quickly reminds them that to the outside world, they are simply black. So Africans sometimes underestimate just how intense racial politics are in America. And black Americans sometimes underestimate how complex tribalism, colonial history, poverty, and political instability can be in African nations. Another major topic that really fuels this online war is the immigrant success argument. You will often hear Africans say, we came to America and succeeded, so why can't black Americans succeed? That argument might sound logical on the surface, but honestly, it ignores reality. Many immigrants come through education programs, work visas, or systems that already select people with qualifications, ambition, and sometimes support networks. Meanwhile, black Americans have faced systemic racism inside America for generations: slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, mass incarceration, underfunded schools, police brutality, and economic sabotage. So comparing African immigrants to black Americans is not always fair because the starting conditions are different. But black Americans also need to understand something. Many Africans who migrate are not coming from comfort. Many are coming from unstable economies, corruption, war, or lack of opportunity. Many immigrants sacrifice everything to create a better future. So instead of mocking Africans, there should be respect for their struggle too. Now, brothers and sisters, here's the real question. Who benefits from this war? Because I'll tell you right now, it is not Africans benefiting. It is not black Americans benefiting. It is not Caribbeans benefiting. The people benefiting are those who love seeing black people divided. The algorithm pushes these arguments because conflict sells. TikTok loves drama. Twitter loves drama. YouTube loves drama. The more we fight, the more the content goes viral. And as we argue, stereotypes get reinforced. Then racists and white supremacists sit back and laugh because we are doing the work of division for them. But the deeper truth is this: Africans and black Americans actually need each other. Africa needs the diaspora because black Americans have global cultural influence. Black American activism has historically pressured governments and inspired movements worldwide. And black Americans need Africa because Africa is the root. Africa is the ancestral foundation, and also the future economic and geopolitical power base of black people globally. If Africa rises economically and politically, the global perception of black people changes. And if the diaspora unites with Africa, the world will have to treat black people with more respect. So, what do? First, we have to stop speaking to each other through insults. Africans need to stop acting like black Americans are weak because they speak about trauma. And black Americans need to stop acting like Africans are irrelevant because Africa has economic struggles. Second, we need education. People need to learn real history: slavery, colonization, Jim Crow, apartheid, neocolonialism, and the systems that still affect black communities today. Without history, we will keep repeating ignorance. And finally, we need humility, because none of us chose these circumstances. We inherited them. So instead of asking who suffered more, we should be asking, how do we heal? Instead of asking who has better culture, we should be asking, how do we respect each other's culture? Because whether we like it or not, brothers and sisters, we are connected. Now, let me know in the comments, do you think this cultural war is real? Or is it mostly social media fueling division for engagement? And what do you think we can do to build unity between Africans, black Americans, and the entire diaspora? Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one.